So let's talk a little bit about some really bad advice when it comes to the new commission negotiations due to all the lawsuits with NAR. There is no shortage of bad information out there, and today I got dozens and dozens of contacts from our members talking about another coach who's coaching literally the best way to get yourself in trouble when it comes to negotiation. You're going to get in trouble if you utilize what this person's talking about. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. And I want to talk about this today because there's a lot of confusion in the marketplace on who pays the commissions, who's responsible for the fees, the lawsuits that have just been happening and continue happening, now all of the copycat lawsuits that are happening here. What in the world are you saying when you go to meet with sellers? How are you describing the way commission works? Now, I got to tell you, I cannot believe so many agents have went out and done these deals and have truly avoided the commission conversation or kind of glazed over the commission conversation or not explained how people are compensated for what it is that they do. It's caused confusion. Worse, the closing statements that we use, that all of us use around the country, the closing statement you use only has 2 columns on it. It only has buyer and seller. There's no way to actually break down what everybody's expenses are, particularly the listing brokerage and the fees that they have to pay for referral fees to another country, referral fees to another brokerage in another state, or for co-op fees with anybody that they're co-oping with, namely the buyer's agent. That comes from the listing brokerage commission, not from the seller. No seller in America has ever paid a buyer's agent. A seller pays their listing brokerage, and that listing of brokerage then agrees to co-op. Many of you that have been licensed for a long time, you know that it used to be we didn't put it on the HUD statement at all. It used to be the listing brokerage got the whole check. You had to wait 3 or 4 days, and then you had to physically go to that listing brokerage's office after closing in order to get paid from them. You had to do a separate W-9 and all of those things, or a 1099 for them to get that information to your brokerage. Then you had to wait on your brokerage to cut it. In an effort for us to try and streamline everything, they put everything in the seller's column. That's the only place you can put it. So now, the attorneys don't even realize this. They're literally fighting a battle that doesn't exist. No seller has ever paid a buyer's brokerage to negotiate against them. That's not the case at all. They also didn't pay RE/MAX or Keller Williams or Century 21 of Hawaii for the referral of that client that came to town. We pay fees as real estate agents and as a real estate brokerage. We pay co-op commissions, referral fees, transaction coordinators, attorneys in some cases. We pay lots and lots of people out of our fee. What we do with our fee is really nobody's business. We can take it and spend it at the grocery store if we want to. It's our money. We can do what we want to do with it. Now, of course, we do have to disclose to that seller how much we agree mutually to co-op at, and they need to understand how that works. But anyway, back to my story here today. I had probably 20 to 25 emails from agents saying, look at what this coach is teaching. I just got this in my email, and they're literally teaching you how to get a lawsuit. This is a former, the person that this coach was interviewing. I was going to put the clip in here, but I would like to eliminate all the lawsuits because I don't settle, and I like to fight. So I said, you know what, let me just talk about it. I'm not going to put the actual clip in there. But the clip that I'm talking about is exactly 3 minutes long, the section that matters. And this is a former president of the Association of Realtors in their own state and is now on an NAR board for regulatory compliance. They're presenting this as a script that's NAR compliant on how to describe your commission to a seller. The actual script you should use. And I'm telling you, it will land you in jail. It's the reason we got in trouble in the first place. Maybe not in jail, but certainly in court, right? We're talking civil here, not criminal. But they're literally saying, the script is literally designed to say, okay, Mr. Seller, let's talk a little bit about fee structure. My fee for marketing is X%. I get, let's say roundabout number, let's say it's a 3% fee. I get 3% for marketing your home. What we have to do now is decide how much we want to incentivize a buyer's agent or buyer's brokerage for bringing someone in. Commissions are negotiable. It can be 2 or 3 or 1 or 0 or whatever we want. What do you think would make the most sense? Of course, we know the more that we can incentivize those buyer's agents, the more they're going to bring. Shut up. Don't teach real estate agents to get in trouble. Listen to me. The seller isn't paying the buyer brokerage anything, ever. And they never have. You are the president or previous president of your association. You're on NAR boards and you're advising people the script they should use. My fee is 3%. Let's decide how much you are going to pay your buyer's agent. They aren't paying the buyer's agent anything. That's the reason we were in court. That's the reason we're now facing bankruptcy with all of the associations and the brokerages. It's the reason they have billions of dollars in judgments, because even you believe that a seller pays a buyer broker. A seller doesn't pay an out-of-state referral fee. The brokerage pays that out of their listing commission. Why would you ever say that we get X fee? How much would you like to pay the other brokerage? It's not up to the seller, first of all, and it's damn sure not a separate fee. You can list that home. Commissions are negotiable. You can list it at whatever you want. You can list it at 5%. You can list it at 6%. You can list it at 8.5%. You can do whatever you want to do. And you should also have a meaningful conversation, a very good explaining conversation with that seller, that let's come to a mutual understanding on how much I, as a agent / brokerage, will co-op with other brokerages to incentivize them if they do bring someone along. I get a marketing fee of 6% or 6.5% or whatever that number is, and then we need to decide how much we're going to negotiate to give to that buyer brokerage. That is the appropriate way to do it. And frankly, if we'd have done it that way from day one, listen up, NAR, local boards, state boards, brokers that are out there, people responsible for actually teaching these agents how to do it, they don't even know how they're paid. All I have to do is post something on Facebook right now about how commission structure works. You will literally see, and you can see thousands of posts on my Facebook page, by the way. Go there right now at Greg Luther Coaching. You will see thousands of replies. 50% of them will say, well, that's what the problem is right now. The seller has always paid the buyer broker fee. No, the seller has never paid the buyer broker fee. You'll have some people say, well, actually, all funds come from the buyer. The buyer is the one bringing the commission. They're the one paying the commission because they're bringing it to closing. Well, why the hell did you negotiate with the seller? What are you talking about? Are you telling me that whoever brings the funds actually is paying the commission? Really? Wherever the funds come from, that's who's paying the commission? Well, isn't it the buyer's employer then? Didn't that money come from the buyer's employer? Well, actually, where did the buyer's employer get the money from? They got it from their customer. So the buyer's employer's customer got... Shut up. What happened was a seller sold something they owned, and then they paid all their fees from that fee, from the money they got. I can sell my car, and I can pay somebody that I owed on my car. I can sell my house, and I can pay the brokerage that I hired. Yes, somebody brought money. Don't be stupid. But that certainly doesn't mean that commissions are paid by the buyer because the buyer is the one bringing the money. No, somebody sold something that they owned, and from the money that they got, they paid everybody that they owed, including commission structure. Does that make sense? So now the problem we've got is we have people out there saying, now, here's the NAR compliant language you should use. You're paying me this much. How much would you like to pay the buyer brokerage? Are you stupid? This is absolutely going to bring our industry to its knees because of the ignorance that's out there, specifically people from the higher up, specifically people that think because they were elected by their peers that all of a sudden they're qualified. No, you're putting out horrible information that's going to get us in more trouble. You're literally telling the seller that they are paying a buyer brokerage to negotiate against them. It's the sole freaking reason that we were in court to begin with, because the sellers believe they paid undue fees to the buyer brokerage. No, you've never paid it to the buyer brokerage. Our problem is we only have 2 columns on this closing statement. We have to put it somewhere, so we're putting it where these funds are coming from. But I also put on there if I'm paying a transaction coordinator. I also put on there if I'm paying a co-op fee. I also put on there if I'm paying a relocation company. I also put on there if there's a referral fee to an out-of-state. That doesn't mean the seller is paying the referral fee. I'm paying it out of my money. I might have an IRS lien against me as a real estate agent, and it says IRS lien, payable to the Internal Revenue Service, $7,000. That doesn't mean the seller is paying my IRS bill. It's what I'm paying after I get my money. So unfortunately, we have a lot of ignorance out there in the marketplace. Look, respected as they may be, presidents of associations, presidents of membership groups, whether it's local, state, or national, they are the ones that got us in this in the first place. And they're stupid-ass attorneys that did exactly the same thing, that don't even know how a commission is structured. How are you going to fight in the court of law when even the people that are telling you how the business works doesn't know, they have no idea how the business works to begin with? It's the reason that sellers believe they are paying buyer brokers. They could also have another lawsuit because they're paying so many outside referral companies. Oh, well, I didn't know that it was negotiable for me to pay that 40% I had to pay to Zillow. You didn't pay Zillow, we did. I didn't know we had to pay National Relocation Department. I paid 40%. I paid thousands of dollars to National Relocation Department. No, you didn't. The listing brokerage paid out of their fee, just like they paid the co-oping company. Do not have conversations with your sellers talking about, here's the fee I get, and here's the fee that you're going to pay to the other brokerage. No, I get the whole damn fee. We will then agree that all of that is utilized for my marketing and for my services. And if I do get someone to co-op with me, I'm willing to give away X portion of my fee because I don't have to do as much in marketing. They brought a buyer, so I can then give a portion of my fee. And we do agree to that in writing, and that is separated on the listing contract. The total fee is X to ABC Realty. I, at ABC Realty, agree that if someone else comes along, I will co-op at X dollars. Now, this might seem like splitting hairs to you, but if we would have split those hairs, we wouldn't have tens of billions of dollars on the line right now for the confusion that's been caused otherwise. And now, after all the smoke clears, after we realized what's happened here, now we have idiot coaches that are interviewing idiot previous association presidents to specifically talk to sellers in a way that will get you in a lawsuit, in a way that is the exact reason we had that problem to begin with. Let's be very clear on this. Every single agent in the country should have a mandatory training class and test on how the hell we get paid in the first place. Because how can I have 1,000 people on a chat, 1,000 people leaving comments, every one of them a real estate agent? Some of them think the money comes from the seller. Some of them think the money comes from the buyer. Some of them think the money comes from the listing brokerage. How is that even possible? Nobody knows. Are we really this lost as an industry that 50% of our people think they come from various different, like, that's not how it's paid, that's not where it comes from, you've got that mixed up? Then you'll always have somebody say, it's not the listing agent that pays it, it's the listing brokerage. Well, no shit. But then everybody wants to be right on their position. Do you agree that no matter what we're talking about here, if there's this many differences on who pays who, that of course that's within our industry? Of course it's going to be confusing to someone that's not a professional. If NAR wants to do something to be helpful for us, you know what they need to do? They need to actually coach their agents on, their members, I should say, because they're not their agents, they're their members. It's an association, it's a club. They don't even have any laws. They have rules. My homeowners association has rules. My realtor association has rules, but it's certainly not laws. I choose to be a member of that association. Unfortunately, in our case, it's a forced membership, right? Which that in itself is illegal. Whole nother topic to talk about there. But they need to have mandatory training. And frankly, every state division of real estate, every state should have a mandatory training. Here's how brokerages and realtors are paid. Here's how commission is shared. And here's how it must be disclosed to the seller accurately so they know what's happening here. Nobody feels like the wool was pulled over their eyes. But I've had a lot of comments today, probably 10 or 12 comments. Well, the seller should know what they're signing. If they sign the agreement, then that's all there is to it, and there should be nothing to worry about. The freaking agent that was in front of them didn't know how to describe it. How is the seller going to understand it? The agent that's in front of them is doing it the wrong way, is presenting it the wrong way, is literally presenting it the opposite of the truth. We now have idiots. Thank God this has been on YouTube for 2 days and it's only had 90 views. That coach kind of sucks in himself, right? But the people that have seen it, hell, 18 of them, 20 of them, probably a little more than 20, close to 2 dozen, have already contacted me saying, can you believe as much as you've been ranting about commissions and NAR and all of the lawsuits on your Facebook page, like go look at my Facebook page, you will see thousands of agents giving their comments and how they're fighting over how people are paid, over where commission actually even comes from. They're fighting over this in our own industry. It's literally the very definition of the word ignorance. It's the definition of, right? Just you don't know any better. You don't even know what the truth is. And we have at least 50% of the realtor population are completely in the dark on how this works, how we're supposed to present it, what we're supposed to do and say. For those of you that are Inner Circle coaching members with me, I'm going to show you the best way to describe this stuff. That's coming up very soon. I don't have a link to send you to or anything like that. You're already a member. You'll get it. But I think it's the number one thing that's been missing in this industry for quite a long time. Hence the reason, hell, if they interview 3 agents, if a homeowner interviews 3 agents, they'll get 3 different presentations on how the hell commission works in the first place, who's paying who's co-oping with who, what they agree to, what is disclosed. If they meet 3, they'll get 3. Every one of them is completely different. Just on the commission, how commission works, regardless of the number. So I'm going to give some specific direction and instruction, but if you know who I'm talking about with this video, please don't listen to these freaking idiots. You are going to get yourself in trouble. If you say you're paying me this fee and whoever brings the buyer, you're paying them that fee, if that's your conversation, you are illegal by the very definition, by the very judgment that we have. You are asking the seller to pay for a competing brokerage. That's not the way this works. You're going to pay me, and I will pay for a helpful brokerage, for somebody that comes along and helps us, that brings an actual buyer. Yes, you can tell them commissions are negotiable. You should have been doing it the whole time. But with that, we also need to tell them commissions are very negotiable. You know who's always known that? New construction. All the new construction around here, they've always known commission is negotiable. Sometimes they just pay normal commissions. Sometimes they pay middle of the road commissions. But sometimes they really want to sell and they pay more because they know that's going to get their home sold at a better number, better price, faster home sale. How much would you like me to co-op at? Are you going to try and beat down that total number where I can't give away as much? Or are you going to try to give more so I can give more? So ultimately, we should get a lot more interest. We're going to get somebody that's trying to sell this thing. That is the way commission is negotiated. So NAR, Mr. Attorneys that are out there, everything else, yeah, commissions are negotiable. That's why we're able to earn more than anybody else in the industry. We can negotiate up too. Look on my Facebook page and see the number of agents that are closing deals at 7 and 7.5 and even more over and over and over in areas where it's normally 5%, or they're fighting to get 5 or 6 or whatever the case is. For a kind of a median or an average range, they're all over the board, but they're all over the place. We can go higher than that because we can negotiate better with better services, better offers that we have, and the seller sees value in. Look at all the people using the menu of services where we say we can go with good, better, or best. Which would you like to do here? First of all, that means commissions are negotiable because I'm giving you 3 options. And you know they'll take that top option a whole lot more often than you would ever think. It's very rare they would take the low option. We're not going cheaper. You'll see agents that comment on that. They're like, well, why would I go cheaper? No, dude, this is for you to go more expensive. This is for you to build real value so people will take that premium option. Commission's a big thing, and I can't believe this industry is this lost and confused on how commission works in the first place. Who's bringing the money to the table? Who's paying the commissions? How people are paid. It is unbelievable that that's an issue in our industry. So I've got some stuff coming out for you guys. By the way, you might see some down in the video description here. If you look down here, You should already be subscribing to this channel, by the way. Click the thumbs up here and follow the channel. If you believe you need a lot more when it comes to commission structure and specific languaging that you can use, so the seller understands how it works and you are very compliant in full disclosure, if you believe that's you, click the thumbs up button. Give me a like on this video. I'll see if that's something you'd like to get more content on. Just let me know here. We know how our percentages work. And if it does make sense, I'll shoot some videos for everybody here so you can get it for free. Check out the video descriptions below. You'll see a few links that will help you in growing your business. Look, I am nowhere near polished. I am nowhere near, nor do I have an interest in being professional. I have an interest in you making a lot of freaking money, doing a great job, being legal, moral, and ethical, and having your clients become raving fans of you, because that's how you get lots of referrals and past client business. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, but you're following someone that's not going to bullshit you the way this disgusting video that I saw. Teaching agents to negotiate them separately, bad deal. That guy ain't going to make it much longer in this business. And guy, I'm sure you got it. You probably ought to delete that video. You look like an idiot. We're trying to help realtors here. We're trying to eliminate those issues here. I'll give you what you need. We'll talk about it soon. I'm Greg Luther. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.